Is Jesus coming back very soon? Or are we about to have open alien contact? I have some inside information that something huge is coming along these lines. My name is Mahadeva, the Thunder Wizard, and I just had a very intense um, lucid dream that felt very prophetic. I've had a few of these in my life, and in any case, let me just tell you what the dream was, and then you and I can maybe decide, assuming that this was a real thing, we can decide what we think the meaning of it was. So, in my dream, I was walking around the Himalayas, and it was beautiful and wonderful. It was a very powerful spiritual place. And I came upon this group of people, and they were sort of gathered around, and it looked like something important was going to happen. So I sort of squeezed in the crowd, and I looked around, and there were these groups of drummers, or this group of drummers. They were traditional kinds of drummers. They were playing hand drums, and I'm a hand drummer, so I love that. So they were playing, and it was clear that they were announcing somebody important was coming. And I thought, well, I'm in the Himalayas. This must be some yogi or some swami or some spiritual guru or Tibetan, Buddhist master. I didn't know, something. I was very excited. Ooh, who's going to show up? And then I look up in the sky, and I see there are these clouds, and these clouds are surrounding something, and they're hiding something. And I can see something in there that has kind of a silver twinge to it, and I'm like, is that a spaceship? What is that? And I whispered, I didn't want to be rude, but I whispered to the person next to me, I said, there's something in the clouds. And as soon as I said that, the clouds opened up, and there was an intense gasp. And out of the clouds came, didn't look exactly like this, but out of the clouds came a crucifix with half of a Jesus on it. Just about right. That's about as much of the Jesus that was there on the crucifix. But the crucifix was clearly it was a statue, and it looked like it was made of this kind of stuff. It wasn't super expensive metal, but it was shiny like that. What is this kind of metal called? You know what I'm talking about. And it was highly polished, and it was ornate, and there were like little clouds on it, like on the sculpture. And the Jesus was on there, and I immediately went, oh, I've been wrong this whole time. I guess Jesus is coming back, because I gave up that belief in Jesus and the second coming a long time ago. And it was kind of like, it was disappointing, and it was a little strange. And so I said, oh, I guess Jesus is coming back. And then this pewter, that's the name of this metal, pewter. The pewter sculpture of Jesus then comes alive and does this, and looks up behind him like in shock and surprise. Something else was not just in the clouds, but was coming from apparently outer space. And Jesus was, the Jesus on the pewter Jesus on the cross was surprised and had no idea what it was that was coming, but it was obviously something huge. And the dream ended, and I woke up, and there was a specific feeling about him. I mean, I know what my friends feel like. They have a very specific feeling about them when they interact with me, and it had that kind of a feeling to it. So I made sure that I remembered the dream in detail, absolutely remembered it, and I was sure that I wouldn't forget it. And I went back to sleep, And while I was, just having some dream in my sleep, something tapped me on the head, and I turned around and nobody was there, and it was very clear. Somebody's like saying, "Pay attention, something's coming. Don't go back to sleep. Pay attention." So I woke up and I sat in bed and I thought about it. And like I said, the last time that I had a dream that felt like that was probably 9 months ago. And it was a dream that was, again, a very lucid dream. And the message of that dream was that extraterrestrials were coming to Earth. And it wasn't so much in that dream that physical ETs were coming, but it was that everything on the world was going to change, and human beings were going to become aware that there was this whole other uh, civilizations out there, and that society was going to get bumped up, a huge level, and there was going to be a huge transformational awareness effect on the planet Earth. And then, now you guys know, if you've been watching my channel, I've been interacting with these extraterrestrial beings of higher dimensions. And anyway, there's no doubt about that. You guys know about all the other things. Our history has literally been changing. Time is morphing. Um, all kinds of really intense, crazy things are happening. So I can't tell you exactly what it means. If I take the dream literally, I've come to the conclusion that when I have these kinds of dreams from my friends here, that you should pay attention to them. And if I were to interpret this dream, it's going to mean that something very huge is coming, that people will initially mistake as the second coming of Christ, which then it will become clear that it's not, that it's very likely of extraterrestrial origin. And I think maybe it might mean that open contact with ETs is coming. Uh, as I say that, I feel things inside of me. I'm not trying to make a prophetic. I don't have an attachment. I'm totally happy if I find out that this was just an intense dream. I ate too much spicy fish last night. I don't care. Um, but so here's what I think that might mean. Our extraterrestrial cousins, because that's what they are. They're us. Since I've been interacting with these beings for a couple of months now, doesn't sound like a lot, but I've been interacting with them on a daily basis. And what I have come to learn about them is that they are not just little green men that live on other planets that have more technology than us. That's not even close to what they are. They are souls, just like you're a soul inside of a body. They're a soul, and they primarily live on higher dimensions. Higher dimensions doesn't just mean that they live in a more like heavenly celestial place. It's completely different from that. When I say higher dimensions, I mean from a physics perspective, from a scientific perspective. We live in a three-dimensional reality, and there are certain laws within those three dimensions. These beings live in higher dimensions. I can't tell you exactly what dimension they live at. Probably, depending on who they are, they live in multiple dimensions. They do seem to have the ability, if they choose, as you can see here, to appear in three-dimensional form if they choose. It also may mean that they do live on other planets, so they're technically extraterrestrials, but they're actually us. And these beings have a very, very deep connection to other, what we would call life after death. For them, there is no death. So when we die, from their perspective, the only thing that happens is our soul moves to a different dimension. And our soul interacts with them. And I have, there's a lot of stories I haven't shared with the channel, but I've interacted with people who have passed in my life who have been brought to me by these higher dimensional beings. They have said, so and so wants to talk to you. And they will literally create the scenario like an angel. So we would, if we didn't know any better, we would think these were angels. We would think they were guardian angels or, elves or, those kinds of things. And those would be accurate because these beings actually do have a strong connection with what we perceive to be life after death, which for them is not life after death. It's just life moving into other expressions. People reincarnate. They have a strong connection to helping us choose our next destination. And there are many people, you are a human soul and you have been these beings before. And, this is sometimes what happens in between incarnations. You will be one of these higher dimensional beings and you will be very involved in people's interaction with their life and their lessons in three-dimensional reality. And so my interpretation of what I think this means is that very soon, I can't say when, but apparently soon enough that I needed to be told about it, that very soon there is going to be some kind of major global event that will, again, at first be misinterpreted as the second coming of Christ. And then what will happen is people will sort of wake up to what is really going on, which is that the earth has moved up to the next level of being. The earth herself might move into a more higher dimensional frequency. I don't know. I personally don't think that the human race will go to, higher dimensions. Anything is possible. But I think what will happen is we will have a more open connection and interaction with these beings. This is just my interpretation. I'm not speaking for anybody. This isn't a prophecy. But it is my feeling that they have gotten to the place where they feel that it is in our best interest and our mutual best interest, their best interest and our best interest, for them to make more of an open announcement that here we are. We've been here this whole time. We are your friends. In fact, we're your family. We've been humans, you have been us before, and reality is not what you think. And we are now going to give you interaction, possibly because human beings may be on the verge of causing damage to the cosmos as a result of their misunderstanding of technology. We've got the Hadron Collider, which I have no idea if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but a lot of people think that the Hadron Collider is messing with the fabric of the universe. We've certainly had our experiences with nuclear weapons, which may also have a destructive impact on the fabric, from a quantum physics perspective, the fabric of the universe. And so I believe they are doing something they would prefer not to do, which is they would prefer to let human beings and 3D be what it is, be its own universe where things happen in a certain way, people die and then they move past it and they have, awarenesses. But things may be getting to the point where if they don't step in and, pull the curtain back and say, okay, hang on, guys, we have to stop the show for a second. You guys are on the verge of destroying yourselves and destroying the universe. So we're going to step in. let you know what the nature of reality is, and you guys, you are spiritual beings having a three-dimensional physical experience, etc., etc. So that's my take on what I think the dream was. I think it's probably going to be whatever it is going to happen very soon. I have no idea if that means days, weeks, or months, years. I don't know. But it feels like it's coming quite soon. So uh, be prepared. Nothing might happen. It could have just been, I ate too much spicy fish. Uh, um, but I don't think that's the case. In any case, as I said, I don't represent anybody. I'm not a prophet. I'm just telling you, last time I had a dream like this, something intense and transformational did happen to me beyond my expectations. And so I'm going to take this. I'm looking forward to it. I believe it's possible that for some people it might be traumatic. For some religious people, this might be a traumatic letdown because they might find out that, oh, Jesus isn't what I thought Jesus was. So that's my feeling also. So I want to be able to be helpful to help people make this adjustment. I know for me, I've had a crash course in the past couple of months that's been incredibly traumatic. My shift in reality, understanding of reality has, absolutely been shattered and then put back together again. And so I think that's something that probably most humans are going to have to go through. So I hope I can be helpful in that regard. I'm excited about it. I don't have any fear. I have some excitement and a little bit of anxiety because it's unknown and all that. But I'm actually pretty excited about this, assuming that this dream was correct. Any case, do with it what you will, and let's celebrate our evolution because definitely something huge is coming. All right, that's it for me. I'll see you guys soon. Take care.